Welcome to the Dreamer Alchemy, the podcast that turns your stalled visions into tangible reality. I'm your host. Today, we're diving deep into a place many of us know all too well, the gap between a beautiful idea and the first frustrating step. You know that feeling, right? You've got this brilliant, world-changing idea. It's so vivid in your mind, you can almost touch it, see it. But when it comes to actually doing anything, you're just stuck. If you've ever felt that gap between a crystal clear vision and a totally blank reality, then you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to dig into this, figure out what's going on, and most importantly, how to break free.
Okay, listen to this. This quote comes from a real journal entry. But wow, it could have been written by any one of us, right? I mean, countless creators, entrepreneurs, anyone with a big dream. This is the heart of the paradox, isn't it? The clearer and more amazing the vision is, the harder it is to actually start. It feels so personal, like this huge failure. It's like you've got all this incredible potential locked up inside, but you just can't find the key. And let's be clear, this isn't about you lacking passion, and it's not because your idea is bad. It's something else, something way deeper.
So that really brings us to the big question we're tackling today. Why? Why does a brilliant vision so often lead to just frustrating inaction? What is going on in our minds, maybe even in our bodies, that causes this huge disconnect? Because it's not laziness. And it's definitely not a lack of desire. It's more like this complex psychological traffic jam. And to get moving again, we've got to understand what's causing the jam in the first place. We need to find the keys to unlock it.
All right, let's get into the first section here, the visionary's trap. And that's exactly what it is, a trap. Before we even think about solutions, it's so important to just sit with this for a second and validate the feeling. If this is you, you are not alone, I promise. This is not some character flaw you have. It's a real emotional and psychological state, and it has these heavy, heavy components that can trap even the most brilliant, most driven people out there.
So what does this trap actually feel like? Well, there are a few things going on. First, there's just the sheer weight of it all, When it's your vision, all the pressure to make it perfect, that's on you. And that leads right into the next piece, the loneliness. Coming up with the idea, brainstorming, that can be fun and collaborative, but the actual nitty-gritty work, that often happens all by yourself. And then, here's the kicker. You tie your own self-worth to whether this project gets done. So any little delay, any obstacle, it feels like you're failing. And that just creates this brutal, demoralizing cycle, right? The more you stall, the worse you feel about yourself, which, of course, just makes it even harder to start.
So the big question is, how do we start to break free from this thing? Well, the first step in solving any problem is to actually give it a name. We have to diagnose it, because by putting a label on this feeling, we take it from being something inside of us and we make it an outside thing. It stops being I'm broken or I'm just lazy, and it becomes a real, understandable problem that we can actually look at and, solve.
And the name we're going to give it is visionary paralysis. That's what it is. It's that giant gaping chasm between your grand, beautiful idea and the tiny, humble first step. And it's fueled by this powerful mix of perfectionism, fear, that huge sense of responsibility, and your own identity all wrapped up in it. All those pressures we just talked about. Just acknowledging that this is a real thing, that's the first huge step toward fixing it.
Okay, so what are the actual ingredients in this paralysis recipe? Well, it breaks down into 4 core issues. You can think of them as the 4 pillars holding this whole trap together. If we can understand them, we can start to take the whole thing apart.
First up is what we call the completion block. Think about it like this. Every single time you start something and don't finish it, there's this little voice in your head that gets a tiny bit louder. It's whispering, "See, told you, you never finish anything." And after a while, that's not just a voice anymore, is it? It becomes a core belief. You actually start expecting to fail before you even begin, which of course becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The fear of adding yet another unfinished project to that pile gets so big that it just feels safer not to start at all.
All right, next up we've got the burden of control. And man, this is the perfectionist's curse, for real. It's this feeling that you have to build the entire cathedral perfectly, stone by stone, all by yourself, before you can even let one person peek inside. It's an impossible standard. This container for your idea, whether it's a business, a book, whatever, it has to be completely flawless from day one. That pressure to create this perfect thing all on your own, it's just immense. And honestly, it's paralyzing. Okay, this next one is a really crucial reframe. Let's talk about the escape hatch. We all have them, right? Binge watching a show, scrolling endlessly on our phones, and we beat ourselves up for it. We see it as a personal weakness, a moral failing. But what if we looked at it differently? The reality is, this is often your nervous system just crying out for relief. It's a biological response. When you're so overloaded by the pressure of control and the shame of not finishing things, your body literally screams for a break. It's looking for something that gives it a sense of surrender, a place where you have zero responsibility. It's not a vice, it's a survival mechanism.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. We've given it a name. We've looked at all the pieces that make it up. Now we get to the most important part. What do we do about it? It's time to shift from just understanding it to actually fixing it. We need a first aid kit, right? One filled with real, tangible strategies to fight back against this paralysis, and this is the whole point, to start rebuilding some precious momentum.
So what's in this first aid kit? We've got 3 powerful steps you can take, like right now, to break this cycle. They are the soft launch, the clarity sprint, and finding healthier relief valves. Let's break down each one.
Okay, step 1, the soft launch. This one is a direct attack on that burden of control we talked about. Instead of waiting to build the perfect, finished thing, you start with the people. Just for a minute, forget the product. What if you just invited a handful of people who get your vision to a super simple, no-agenda coffee or a Zoom call? The goal completely shifts. It's not about showing off a perfect product anymore. It's about connection. And that simple switch releases so much pressure and reminds you, hey, you're not doing this alone.
All right, step 2 is the clarity sprint. And I love this one because it completely flips the script. You take your own feeling of being stuck and you turn it into a service for somebody else. Seriously, offer to help a friend get unstuck on their project. Spend like a focused hour with them. Help them figure out their single biggest blocker. And then, this part is key. Help them design one tiny, actionable micro step they have to take in the next 24 hours. It's amazing how well this works. It gets you out of your own head, it proves to you that you're totally capable of creating clarity in action, and it's a powerful reminder of how much impact one small step can have.
And step 3, finding healthier relief valves. Remember that escape hatch? We know your nervous system is just looking for relief, so let's give it some, but in a healthier way. Instead of a passive escape like TV, find an active one. What's a physical activity that forces you to surrender control, like rock climbing, or even a cold shower, something that yanks you into the present moment? That fulfills the need. Another way is to find a sense of immediate usefulness. Go do a simple, quick task for someone else, something with a clear beginning and a clear end. That gives you the little psychological win, that hit of completion, that your big project isn't giving you right now.
So all 3 of these strategies are really pointing towards one huge, foundational mindset shift. It's about moving away from perfection and just focusing on progress. It's about making micro-completions your new priority. This is how you fundamentally change your relationship with your work and totally redefine what success looks like on a daily basis.
And really, this is it. This is the absolute heart of the matter. You have to consciously, really work at it to decouple your self-worth from your output. Your value as a person has nothing to do with whether your grand vision is finished. Your value is inherent. When a project stalls, it does not mean you are a failure. It just means the project is stalled, period. Separating who you are from what you do, that is the most powerful, liberating thing a visionary can ever do.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? Let's go back to that journal entry from the beginning. The old goal, the big, scary one, was open the hub. I mean, that's huge. It's totally undefined. The new approach, the micro-step approach, looks completely different. The new goals are post the invite for that soft launch and fix the lock on the door. See the difference? These are small, they're tangible, and most importantly, they are completable. These aren't just you putting in effort, they are actual achievements you can check off a list.
And that really brings us to the core takeaway here. We often think that just trying hard should be enough, but our brains don't really work that way. Psychologically, our brains crave completion. Finishing a tiny task like fixing that lock gives you a little dopamine hit, a feeling of control, that just trying to tackle some huge, vague goal will never give you. Momentum isn't born from some grand effort. It's built brick by tiny brick from the satisfaction of getting small things done.
So I'm going to leave you with this. The alchemy isn't in perfecting the grand vision. It's in taking the first, imperfect step. So here's your mission, if you choose to accept it. Forget the huge goal, just for a day. What is your post the invite? What is your fix the lock? What is the one tiny, imperfect step you can complete in the next 24 hours? The goal here isn't to finish your project, not at all. The goal is to start rebuilding your trust in yourself. Thank you for listening to the Dreamer Alchemy.